It's your girl T here, back with another inspired video. I know you guys are having a beautiful, blessed day because you're tea timers. It's absolutely what we do. The affirmation of the day is, why do I manifest perfectly? Why do we manifest perfectly? Because we're tea timers. We always get our manifestation methods correct. I wanted to elaborate a little bit on the video I did yesterday where I was talking about when you use your negative things in the 3D to manifest quicker and change the meaning to something that works in your favor. Now, I wanted to elaborate in terms of when we're always saying to you, ignore the 3D, ignore the 3D, ignore the 3D. What does ignoring the 3D actually look like? What does it mean? A lot of people think ignoring the 3D means looking at the 3D every time. It's saying it doesn't affect you. You don't feel the feelings that it's giving you. Ignoring it and just thinking positively. That's not the true meaning of ignore the 3D. Ignore the 3D means be an observer of the 3D as opposed to a reactor of the 3D, where you can feel your feels towards the situation that's going on in the 3D, but feeling those feelings within you, letting them dissolve, and then not even, you can choose not even to assign a meaning to that thing, or if you're strong enough, you can assign a meaning that is conducive to the life that you are manifesting. So let's give an example. If my friend and I get into a fight and I'm feeling really frustrated, I'm feeling unheard, I'm feeling like they were saying things that were untrue and I wasn't getting my thoughts heard by them, the reactor in me would want to call them and start going off about the points that I didn't make in the fight, and I wanted to hammer home my points or text them. The reactor in me would want to call 4 other of my friends, go over the fight over and over and tell them about where I was coming from and see if they agree with me. That's the reactor in me. Whereas the conscious creator in me needs to train myself to go within, feel the feels. That's unfair. I know that they didn't hear me on this point. I was simply stating this point. Maybe call one friend and have this conversation with them. 5-10 minutes, let it out. It's good and healthy to let your feelings out. Resolve that through burping it out to a friend. I have to do that. I need to get my feelings out and then I'm fine with them. But if they sit and they fester in me, they will turn into crap in my body. So vent it out with one person and then be satisfied with that. Don't call 6 other people for their opinions on the fight, knowing that you only want them to agree with you so you feel validated. Let it out with one friend and then just let it pass. That fight didn't mean anything. I'm always loved, heard, prioritized in my environment. People hear me. People appreciate me. I always feel appreciated. You're creating a new meaning for what that fight meant, as opposed to they hate me, they think of me this way, da 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 da, and then it will snowball. You'll start seeing things come up that will reiterate those feelings you had from the meaning you assigned to that fight, as opposed to letting those feelings come out and either letting the fight go and not assigning any meaning to it and just continuing on affirming for where you want to go, or you can assign a meaning to the fight that it was a misunderstanding and it'll blow over in a couple days. This person always hears me. I'm always loved. I'm always chosen. I'm prioritized by everyone around me. So this fight was nothing more than a hiccup in the screen and we'll be best friends again in a day. Do you see how I just changed that around? I let the feelings out. I let them marinate for a second and then I reassign meaning. Or on the flip side, you could just say, oh, that's fine. It'll resolve itself and keep it moving if you've got your feelings out. The point of ignoring the 3D, what it means is that you don't want to assign meanings to things in your reality that don't serve you. Remember, nothing has meaning until us as the creators assign it one. So the options we have when something comes up that's not favorable to us is look at it as something that's going to pass because it's old news, or we can react to it and create a meaning for it that isn't conducive to what we're manifesting and doesn't align with what we're manifesting and goes completely the other way of what we're manifesting and kind of live in the 3D and marinate in that old juice. This is what ignoring the 3D means. Either observing it and letting it go, not assigning any meaning to it, or assigning a meaning that is better aligned with the future you're creating for yourself. When I heard this from somebody on YouTube yesterday, Mark, I forget his last name, the guy who always wins the lotteries using manifestation, he was saying that you are essentially, because the 3D is malleable and because it's already something that has passed and it's no longer, you know, it's an old thought or belief, you're essentially fighting with an old circumstance. Like there's a cause and effect. You're basically fighting with the effect because there was a cause, something triggered you to feel the emotions that you felt towards a certain situation, and the effect is seeing that narrative you gave it play out in your 3D, and the effect in your 3D is coming along and you're fighting with the effect from when you caused it. And I'm not saying cause in a blame kind of way. A lot of everything around us is caused and created by us, and it's not that we go around trying to create crappy things for ourselves, but we are fighting with an effect, the after effect of something that we created using our mind and our thoughts and our emotions. We're fighting with the aftermath. Fighting with the 3D is like looking at a reflection of ourselves in the mirror, a piece of glass, and not looking at the glass as we're talking to ourselves. Because if the 3D mirrors back to us what we are, then we're essentially just fighting with a reflection of our previous thoughts and feelings. And it doesn't make any sense. You want to stare straight at that circumstance and assign a powerful meaning to it, or just take power and peace in the fact that you know that's old news and you're going to use it to better construct the next event or positive circumstance that happens for you moving forward. You are so powerful. I think we forget that sometimes, and we do create so well that negative or positive, we're really good at creating these things. All we're doing is showing ourselves how to hone in our creative processing so we can focus on creating things that we do want to see as opposed to what we don't. And that is another point before I go. I wanted to say, if you guys are seeing all these new manifestation videos pop up here and there, manifest your SP in 24 hours, have whatever you want in this amount of time, and you pass that mark and you don't get what you want, that's okay. Like I say to you all the time, your journey is your journey. Don't compare it to every video that pops up on YouTube. You don't know a lot of these people, what they're dealing with, where they're coming from, if they're putting up videos because they want to get clicked on. Don't take it so seriously. Trust and believe in the people and the coaches who you resonate with, and know that regardless of how long it takes you, the fact that you're on this journey, improving yourself and making your life better, shows that you've already pointed in the right direction and you're already going in the right way. If you were going to school to become a doctor and you failed your first test, would you give up the whole course, or would you look at it and say, I'm going to do better next time? This is what mental diet is. It's jumping onto a new way of thought, and when you fall off the wagon, you get back up. This is how life works. It's a process. It takes a minute or two, but we get what we want because we're tea timers. I love y'all, but not as much as you should be loving yourselves. Have a beautiful, blessed Thursday. Bye.